this world, there are 5 islands arranged in a cross shape collectively called Ent-Esla. The people who live there are all terrified of the demon king Satan, who resides in a demon castle on the central island. Satan is malicious and has one goal: to destroy humanity and create a world solely for demons. He is supported by 4 trusted generals: Ader, Melek, Lucifer, Alcial, and Malakota. Following Satan's command, these generals attack all 4 islands, brutally defeating the humans. However, a hero appears and defeats Lucifer's army with a single strike. The human army then retakes 2 more islands by defeating Ader, Melek, and Malakota's forces. The hero and the human army then launch an assault on the central island where Satan's castle stands. A fierce battle ensues between the hero and Satan. Although Satan is at a disadvantage due to the hero's comrades, he manages to knock off a piece of the hero's armor. Alcial, enraged, attacks the hero and his comrades to buy some time. He then informs Satan that the humans are launching a full assault and the castle may soon collapse. It would be wise to retreat for now. Suddenly, the hero attacks Satan, but Satan manages to escape the castle. He tells the humans that he is retreating for now but will return soon to conquer Ent-Esla. Satan creates a portal and he and Alcial enter it. The humans, seeing their enemies flee, celebrate their victory. Satan and Alcial arrive in another world. Alcial asks Satan about his physical condition, and Satan replies that they need a place to heal. As they explore, Alcial is stunned to see Satan, and Satan is shocked when he notices his hand has turned into that of a human boy. 2 policemen approach them, curious about their strange outfits, and ask if they are cosplaying. However, Alcial doesn't understand their language and becomes angry, demanding that they speak with respect. The police taunt them and insist they speak Japanese. Alcial, confused as to why he can't understand the language after using magic, grows frustrated. Satan warns him not to use magic until they fully understand this world. Still, visibly injured from their previous battle, a police officer steps forward to offer help, but Alcial angrily backs away, telling the officer not to touch him, calling him a filthy human. He attempts to cast a destructive spell, but to his disappointment, it has no effect. The police officers load them into a car and take them to the station for interrogation. Satan and Alcial are placed in separate rooms. Satan scans the food with his magic to check if it is poisonous. He then hypnotizes the officer to extract all the information about this world. After gathering the details, he goes to Alcial's room and finds him enjoying his food. Meanwhile, the police officer questions Alcial about how he got there, but Satan quickly hypnotizes him as well. He then tells Alcial that he has learned everything about this world. They are on a planet called Earth in a country named Japan, and this place is a police station. In this world, demons, magic, and monsters are considered mere fantasy. Upon hearing this, Lucille is shocked and asks, "No magic in this world?" As they walk through the streets at night, Satan tells Alcial that he can sense some magic in this world, but the amount is too low to absorb and transform back into their demon forms. They can only use the magic stored within them, so they must conserve it wisely. He then asks Alcial to try using any magic he can. Alcial raises his hand and strikes a pose to cast a spell, but nothing happens. Instead, a taxi stops in front of them, and moments later they find themselves dumped under a bridge beside a pile of trash. Satan then tells Alcial that since magic exists in this world, there must be a strong source of it somewhere. They just need to find it to regain their full power. Until then, they must adapt and survive in this world. The next morning, they begin their new life in this world. They visit a government office to obtain resident cards, with Satan hypnotizing an employee to complete the process. Next, they go to a bank to open an account and later visit a rental service to find a place to live. The rental service shows them a 6-room apartment, and they mistakenly believe the entire apartment is for them. However, they soon realize they are only getting a single room. That night, while discussing their plans for the next day, Satan suddenly loses consciousness. The next scene shows them in a hospital. Satan blacked out because he hadn't eaten for 2 days. After being discharged, they return home and begin filling out job applications. In this world, Satan is now known as Mao Sadao and Alcial as Shiro Ashia. Time passes, and it seems they have adapted to this world. Satan lies on the floor reading manga while Alcial washes dishes, advising Satan to spend money wisely. Satan replies that he has done exactly that. He bought a freezer because it would be useful during the hot summer. Alcial argues that he could have bought it in installments, but Satan dislikes the hidden charges that come with them. Alcial then reveals the freezer, exposing the reality they have no food. Satan ignores his concerns, which makes Alcial angry. Realizing their situation, Satan suddenly gets up and rushes out of the room, saying he has to go to work. He arrives at a road crossing in the rain where he sees a girl. Noticing her situation, he hands her his umbrella and tells her she can return it later since he works at the nearby Mag Ronald. Without waiting for a reply, he rides away on his bicycle. Satan works part-time at Mag Ronald, believing that if he wants to become the Demon King again and conquer this world, he must start somewhere. His colleague has no idea what he's thinking but is happy for him. Meanwhile, Alciel visits a library to research magic in this world. They have a deal. Satan, now known as Sadao, will work to earn money while Alciel will study magic and find a way for them to regain their power. Later, Sadao and his colleague Chiho Sasaki are resting at a table. Chiho looks sad and Sadao reassures her that it's okay to make mistakes. However, Chiho, feeling disappointed, admits that she often drops fries on the floor and has to clean them up afterward. She jokes that if this keeps happening, potatoes might start sprouting there. After sharing a laugh, they return to work. Their restaurant is packed with customers, and while frying potatoes, Sadao notices that they aren't cooking properly. He quickly realizes the fryer is broken. Feeling anxious and uncertain, he considers using his magic but remembers Alciel's advice to save it for emergencies. Later, Sadao and his colleague sit in the break room and he looks completely discouraged. His colleague reassures him that it's not his fault the fryer broke and that it will be repaired soon. Everything will return to normal. The manager calls Sadao to the office. Filled with fear, he worries that he might be getting fired. However, to his surprise, the manager assures him that she is actually promoting him to an A-class staff member. Overjoyed, Sadao happily rides his bicycle home. At the same road crossing, he once again encounters the girl from before. She tells him that she visited the Mag Ronald where he works. Sadao, surprised, asks why she didn't call for him, but she ignores his question and instead says, "I know you were about to use magic on the fryer." Then she stares at him and asks, "What are you doing here, Demon Lord Satan?" Sadao is completely stunned but quickly realizes the truth. This girl is actually Hero Amelia. After Satan escaped through the portal, the hero revealed herself as a girl. She swore an oath to follow Satan wherever he went and to eliminate him once and for all. Amelia demands to know why Satan is working at Mag Ronald, but Sadao turns the question back at her, asking what she is doing here. She reveals that she followed him through the portal and is now here to fulfill her oath by finishing him. She then pulls out a small knife and Sadao smirks. "Isn't that a cheap knife from the market? What happened to your holy sword? Did you lose your magical abilities?" he taunts. Amelia glares at him. "How pathetic. The mighty Demon King is working part-time at a restaurant. I don't need a holy sword to finish you." Without hesitation, she lunges at him. At home, Alciel grows worried as Satan is late. Meanwhile, Satan and Amelia have actually ended up at a police station. The officers question them about their scuffle in the middle of the road. Amelia, still frustrated, tells them, "It's because of Sadao. I need to finish him." The officer sighs and says, "Look, I don't know what happened between you and your boyfriend, but fighting in the middle of the road is illegal." Hearing that, Amelia furiously denies it, snapping, "There is no way he's my boyfriend." The officer shrugs and replies, "Whatever the case, settle your feud at home. Just don't cause trouble in public." Later, Mao and Amelia leave the police station and walk down the street. Amelia glares at him and threatens, "You won't last long. I've noted your home address." Mao sighs, realizing that she's going to be a huge pain. Still, he casually asks, "By the way, can you return my umbrella?" Amelia scoffs, "Did you really think I kept your filthy umbrella? I threw it in the garbage." She then smirks and warns him, "You better stay alert, Demon King. I'll be your worst nightmare." The next morning, it is revealed that Hero Amelia is working at a call center in this world. During a break, her friend Rika invites her to check out a newly opened restaurant, but Amelia refuses, saying, "Newly opened restaurants are always too crowded." Rika then suggests Mag Ronald, but Amelia immediately rejects the idea, saying, "Anywhere but Mag Ronald." They both return to work. After finishing her shift, Amelia buys some food on her way home. She prepares her meal and starts eating, but suddenly frustration takes over. She clenches her fists in anger, thinking she is wasting time in this world. She regrets not eliminating Satan the moment she saw him, as he deserves it. Meanwhile, at Mao's home, Mao and Alciel are having dinner when suddenly the doorbell rings. Alciel grumbles, "Who would come begging at this hour?" But a voice from the other side shouts, "You filthy devils, I am your doom, Hero Amelia." Hearing that, Alciel panics and locks the door immediately. Amelia bangs on the door. "Open up and prepare for your fate." Alciel, trembling, turns to Mao. "Satan, Hero Amelia is here. What should we do?" But Mao remains completely calm, casually saying, "Not a big deal. Just finish your dinner." Alciel is shocked. "How can you be so casual? It's Hero Amelia. Mao calmly explains, I met her yesterday. She can't use her magic just like us. As they talk, Amelia suddenly starts crying outside. Mao sighs and finally tells Alciel, just let her in. After entering, Amelia glares at Mao, who asks, did you come to this world alone? She replies, yes, but one of my comrades, Alba, was supposed to come with me. However, the portal shrank and only I managed to make it through. After talking for a while, Amelia prepares to leave but warns Mao that she could easily finish him with the power she has left, though doing so would prevent her from returning to Ent Isla. She also reveals that in this world her name is Yusa Emi. The next day after work, Amelia's friend invites her to a restaurant, but she declines, saying she has other things to do. Later that evening, she is seen stalking Mao's house, observing their every move and feeling surprised that Mao and Alciel are living like ordinary humans. Eventually, she visits Mao at Mag Ronald and tells him she came to meet him. Mao responds, we can't talk here. Tell me the time and place. Meanwhile, in the restroom, Chiho angrily questions Mao about Amelia, asking if she is his girlfriend. Mao immediately denies it, which relieves Chiho, and it is revealed that she has a crush on him. After work, Mao meets Emi at the same road crossing where she reveals that she has been monitoring them for the past few days. She tells him that if they continue living like ordinary humans, there is no point in finishing them. However, Mao rejects the idea, insisting that the Demon King Satan was born to conquer worlds. Suddenly, his bicycle tire goes flat and laser shots start firing at them, forcing them to run toward the station. They manage to escape the situation, but Emi questions who could have attacked them. Mao, with a serious expression, replies that he knows exactly who they are, making it clear that the enemy is from Ent Isla. Amelia follows Mao to his house, and upon noticing her, he asks what she wants now. She explains that she has lost her wallet, so Mao allows her to stay the night. Ashia, or Alciel, is startled to see Hero Amelia, but Mao reassures him and explains the situation. He gives Emi a blanket and some yen for the morning bus. As Mao and Ashia lie down to sleep, Mao reminds him of their miserable state when they first arrived in this world and how they managed to survive because they were together. He notes that Amelia came alone, making it much harder for her to adapt. Hearing this, Ashia teases Mao, saying he's getting soft. Suddenly, a message pops up on Mao's phone. It was just a show-off. Prepare for the actual disaster. At the same time, he receives another message from Chiho. Another earthquake is coming soon. What should I do? Mao, confused, has no idea what is happening. The next morning, Mao and Ashia have breakfast while Emi has already left their house. At Emi's home, she watches the news on TV about the previous night's incident. She notices Mao's bicycle in the footage and spots both Mao and Ashia among the crowd. Meanwhile, at Chiho's house, she and her family are also watching the same news. Chiho checks her phone and sees Mao's reply, agreeing to meet her after she had warned him about the earthquake. She feels happy about it. Later, Emi returns to her call center job, but suddenly she receives a strange phone call. When she answers, a deep, eerie voice asks, "Why are you living like a normal Japanese hero, Amelia?" Shocked, Emi demands to know the caller's identity. The person claims to know both Hero Amelia and Satan and declares that he has come from Ent Isla to eliminate them. Emi immediately realizes this must be the one who attacked them that night. Noticing the demonic tone, she suspects it's a devil. She questions the caller, saying that the only Demon King's general left is Alciel, so who could he be? She also states that threatening her in the name of Ent Isla is pointless. The caller simply responds, "If you think that way, then we'll talk later," before hanging up. Later, Emi receives a call from the police station where Mao and Ashia have already been taken in as suspects regarding Mao's bicycle. Frustrated, Emi arrives and scolds them, saying she should have eliminated them, but is instead forced to act as their guardian. Mao explains that in this world, she is the only one who understands their situation, which is why he gave her number to the police. Emi then informs them about the mysterious phone call, revealing that the caller is after both of them. However, she confidently declares that they don't need to worry because she is the one who will eliminate Satan. After that, she leaves. Meanwhile, Chiho is at home, excitedly preparing for her meeting with Mao, thinking of it as her first date. At the same time, despite usually being frugal, Ashia takes Mao to a shopping mall to buy a new outfit for the occasion. Later in the evening, Mao and Chiho meet, and Mao compliments Chiho's outfit, making her happy. When Mao asks where they should go, Chiho suggests a cafe. Meanwhile, Emi, returning from work, notices Ashia stalking someone. Suspicious, she grabs his collar and demands to know what he's up to. Ashia begs her to let go, promising to explain. He then admits he is simply observing Mao and Chiho in case something happens. Emi, unconvinced, drags Ashia with her to the cafe, making him realize he's in serious trouble. At the cafe, Mao and Chiho are deep in conversation. Chiho reveals that she has been hearing strange voices in her mind, understanding messages in an unknown language. Mao quickly realizes it's an idea link. Someone from Isla is trying to contact Chiho through brain frequencies. Just then he notices Emi and Ashia entering and wonders what they are doing there. However, he decides to ignore them and instead advises Chiho that the voices might be warning her about an earthquake. He tells her to focus on the earthquake and alert others rather than worrying about the voices. Chiho, happy that Mao believes her, gathers the courage to confess her feelings. But before she can, Emi interrupts, warning her that pursuing Mao is a mistake and will only bring sorrow. Assuming Emi is Mao's girlfriend, Chiho angrily argues with her. However, before the argument escalates, a massive earthquake suddenly strikes. The earthquake causes the shopping complex to collapse, trapping Chiho and Emi together. Chiho, worried about Mao, asks about him, but Emi reassures her that nothing has happened to him, though she insists he will eventually die at her hands. Emi then casts a spell on Chiho, making her fall asleep. Meanwhile, Mao reveals his true demonic form. Seeing this, Emi prepares to eliminate him, but Mao pointing out that many people are still trapped under the ruins. With the rescue teams yet to arrive, they must act quickly. Emi is stunned. Why would the Demon King Satan care about human lives? Mao then uses his magic to protect the people from being crushed. Later, in a press report, the police confirm that the earthquake caused massive destruction, bringing down the entire shopping complex. However, miraculously, not a single civilian was injured. Emilia has a flashback to her childhood. She remembers bringing lunch to her father, who was working in his wheat field. They were happy to see each other and shared their meal together. As they ate, a man approached them with urgent news. Demons had already conquered the north and east, and their next target would be the west. Emilia's father dismissed the concern, saying their land was protected by the gods. However, the man was doubtful, warning that this time they might not survive against Demon General Lucifer before leaving. Emilia, still a child, confidently told her father, "Nothing will happen to us because my dad never lies." Later, priests and soldiers from the Holy Church arrived in their village. Emilia initially believed they had come to protect them, but she soon realized their true purpose. They had come to take her away. Her father told her that it was time for her to leave, but she refused. He then explained that she was the daughter of an angel, and that only she had the power to defeat the Demon King Satan. He also told her that this was her mother's wish. Emilia recalled that this was the last time she ever saw her father. A few days after she left, she received news that Lucifer's army had burned down her entire village. The Holy Church members told her that she couldn't give up. She had a duty to fulfill. Her mother had been one of the strongest angels, and as a child of both human and angelic blood, she alone had the ability to wield both the sacred and the better half sword, making her the only one capable of defeating the Demon King. Determined, Emilia demanded to be trained in every sword skill she needed to know to defeat Satan. In reality, Mao asks Emilia if she is all right, but she angrily tells him that he doesn't need to care for her. It seems Mao has returned to his human form, and he feels relieved to see that Chiho is fine. A police officer then approaches them and tells them to leave the area as it is dangerous. However, he recognizes Chiho as the daughter of Inspector Sasaki. Mao appears to realize something. After Chiho leaves, Mao tells Emilia that the first time he used magic in this world was on Mr. Sasaki, Chiho's father. He suspects that the magic may have affected Chiho in some way, allowing her to hear those strange voices. However, he assures Emilia that they are now out of danger since whoever attacked them has already failed. He also points out that the earthquakes always seem to happen when he and Emilia are near each other. The enemy might be using sonar or some other type of magic, but one thing is certain. They know who Mao and Emilia really are. While they are talking, Emilia's friend spots her from the crowd and calls out to her. Mao tells her to go meet her friend since she is worried about her. Later, Alciel comes to Mao begging for forgiveness. He confesses that it was his fault for allowing Emilia to get too close to him, and when Mao was in danger, he was unable to do anything. Yet, despite all that, Mao still saved him. Alciel admits that he knows there is no way to be forgiven for his foolishness, so he is willing to accept any punishment. But Mao simply says it's already been too late. Let's go home. And Emi's friend takes her to her house and treats her wounds. The next morning, Emilia comes to Mao's home to return his money. She asks about Alciel's condition, and Mao replies, "He's fine. but he probably took some head damage because he's acting strangely. He feels guilty for failing to serve his lord. If you're done, you can leave now. As Amelia is leaving, she suddenly trips and falls down the stairs. Hearing the noise, Alciel assumes they are under attack again, but when he sees Amelia, he pities her, saying, "The great hero Amelia, who nearly defeated the Demon King, is now getting injured from falling down the stairs." He then goes out to buy medicine for her. Meanwhile, Mao tries to apply disinfectant to Amelia's wound, but she angrily throws the bottle at him. Frustrated, she asks, "You are Satan, the Demon King, who was supposed to hurt and destroy humans. But now you're helping others and even gaining their respect." Mao casually remarks that he's never seen a hero get injured just from falling down the stairs before. Amelia then glares at him and demands, "Then why did you kill my father? Why did you burn down my entire village?" But Mao doesn't have any answer to her question. Amelia tells him that she knows the Satan who enjoys spilling blood and tears. "You burned down our entire farmland and contaminated our drinking water." Filled with pain and hatred, Amelia tells him that he took everything she ever liked and cared for. Mao then says, "Back then, I probably didn't understand emotions because I wasn't human." But then Alciel suddenly returns with Chiho. Seeing Mao and Amelia in the same room, Chiho gets the wrong idea. Her heart breaks and she runs away. Just then, the house owner arrives. She informs them that she needs to do some repair work. However, she warns Mao that these earthquakes are not a coincidence. Chiho was hit by a directional arc, which is why she received the Idea Link transmission. Before leaving, she tells Mao that they should leave quickly before it's too late. At that moment, they feel a small earthquake. Meanwhile, Amelia's comrades are coming to Earth through a portal. On the other hand, Chiho is walking sadly down the street, tears streaming down her face. Lost in thought, she unintentionally bumps into a boy and quickly apologizes. But the boy smirks and says, "I knew it was you. I was following you, but I didn't expect it to be this easy to get you alone. Now, I will use your hatred for Satan and hero Amelia, and everyone around here will witness it." Sensing something suspicious, another boy approaches and tells him to move aside. But instead of responding, the first boy throws him away with ease. Then he unveils his black wings and declares, "Now it's time to surpass Satan." Meanwhile, Mao, Alciel, and Amelia arrive at the scene only to find destruction everywhere. Above them, someone with black wings hovers in the sky. As they move closer, Mao narrows his eyes and says, "I knew you were behind everything." The winged figure smirks and responds, "Is it Demon King Satan, or should I call you Mao Sedao?" Mao clenches his fists and says, "What brings you here, Lucifer?" At the same time, Amelia's friends are almost at the end of the portal, ready to arrive on Earth. Amelia, however, is in shock. She had already eliminated Lucifer, so how is he still alive? Lucifer smirks and says, "That's a good question. So why don't you ask him?" At that moment, one of the 6 priests of the Holy Church, Alba, appears behind him. Amelia is stunned. She doesn't understand why he would betray them. Mao, however, nods knowingly. "I already had a suspicion when you told me Alba was coming with you but didn't make it through," he says. Still in shock, Amelia demands, "Why did you do this?" Mao explains, by defeating the Demon King, the hero would gain the throne and control over the nation's power. Alba didn't want to lose his influence. He probably also made a deal with Lucifer to send him back to heaven. Alba is stunned. Mao just unraveled his years of planning in mere moments. Mao smirks and reminds him, "You're standing in front of the Demon King, Satan." But before anyone can react, Lucifer suddenly attacks Alciel with a laser bullet, severely wounding him. Enjoying the sight of blood, Lucifer laughs and asks, "So, who's next? The Demon King or the hero? Either way, I'll do you both a favor." Then he rains down lasers upon them. Sedao quickly creates a barrier shield to block the attacks. Seizing the opportunity, they start running. As they flee, Amelia turns to Mao and asks, "How is Lucifer this powerful in this world?" Mao replies, "Demons gain power by absorbing humans' negative emotions." Then Lucifer arrives and says, "So, you know about this too?" Mao nods. "Yes, I only realized it because of you. When the earthquake struck and that building collapsed, my body absorbed the people's fear, which allowed me to regain my demon form." Lucifer smirks. "Then you could have spread even more fear, gained immense power, and used it to return to An Isla." Mao shrugs. "You're right. But honestly, I'm enjoying my life here. Besides, I don't want to become the enemy of a world that has helped me so much." Lucifer smirks. "You've become soft-hearted. Then let me start absorbing." Amelia and Mao start running, but Lucifer attacks, piercing a hole through Mao's heart. Alba appears and shoots Mao in the leg. Amelia asks, "Why did you use that gun?" Alba replies, "I need to conserve magic to return to An Isla." Mao grabs Amelia's hand and teleports them to a nearby place, but Lucifer arrives immediately and pierces Mao's chest again, causing him to collapse, injured. Holding Chiho in his grasp, Lucifer smirks. Now that Satan is dead, I don't need this either. He then throws Chiho from above. Emilia rushes to save her, catching her just in time, but the impact badly injures Emilia's legs. Meanwhile, Lucifer ascends into the sky and begins casting a massive spell, preparing to wipe out everyone around him at once. As Lucifer unleashes his attack, the nearby bridge begins to break and is about to fall on Emilia and the people around. However, Lucifer suddenly feels something strange. As the smoke clears, he sees that everything has stopped. Just then, Mao's voice rings out, "The show isn't over yet. And by the way, thanks to you, I've regained my power." Chiho also regains consciousness and Emilia realizes that Mao is in his demon form. Emilia now understands why Mao teleported to a crowded place so he could absorb the fear of the people. Mao tells her, "Hurry up, I can't hold this for long." Emilia replies, "Hold on a little longer, I'll take care of Lucifer." She then casts a spell on Chiho saying, "I want you to know more about us." Emilia casts another spell, transforming into her celestial form. In this form, she wields a holy sword and creates a barrier to prevent further damage. Emilia begins fighting Lucifer, but he effortlessly dodges all her attacks. Then he creates an explosion that traps Emilia. Lucifer laughs, taunting her, "How can you fight me without using your celestial force?" At that moment, Alciel makes his entrance, declaring that Satan had given him half of his magic energy, which allowed him to recover. Lucifer, frustrated, asks Alba, "Why aren't you doing anything?" Alba replies, "I need to save my magic energy so I can return to En Isla." Lucifer smirks and says, "If we lose, then you can't go back anyway, idiot." A fierce battle begins. Lucifer relentlessly attacks while Alciel blocks each of his strikes. Emilia joins the fight, launching her own attacks at Lucifer. Meanwhile, Alciel uses his magic to lift cars and throws them at Alba. Seeing the chaos, Mao uses his magic to bring down the bridge, declaring, "Let's finish this quickly." Mao begins flying in the air, taunting, "You guys are very courageous, trying to attack the ruler of the devils. So tell me, what kind of death should I give you?" Suddenly, Mao appears right in front of Lucifer, conjuring thousands of magic circles around him. Moments later, we see Lucifer's beaten face, bloodied and bruised, as he has been defeated badly. With that, the whole fight comes to an end. Chiho asks, "Who are you after all?" They then explain everything to her. Soon, Emilia's companions arrive and reveal that not only Alba but the entire church was involved in this. Afterward, Mao uses his magic to restore everything to its original state. Emilia's companions then begin to head back, and we see Chiho and Mao returning to McCronald's. Chiho looks at him and asks, "Are you also going back?" Mao says, "Well, I'm not going back because I don't have enough magic to return, but I do have enough to erase your bad memories." Hearing this, Chiho pouts and threatens, "I'll slap you." Then, we see Mao speaking rudely, "How does it feel to be helpless in front of your lust? I will chew your bones." But soon, it's revealed that he is actually talking to his food at the restaurant. We then learn that Lucifer is now living with them. He has become an introvert and is surprisingly skilled at using computers. Alciel, frustrated, asks Mao, "Why did you keep him with us? He's ruining our budget." Meanwhile, in En Isla, a council meeting is taking place. A high-ranking priest asks a young woman, "Did you say that Alba has disappeared?" She nods and replies, "Yes, and it seems hero Emilia is alive in the other world. Not only that, but the devil is also still alive." The priest is shocked. "Alba told us the devil was killed in the war." The girl continues, "Emilia's companions have returned to En Isla, and they're spreading the truth about Alba's betrayal and Emilia's survival. The people are in shock and don't know what to believe. The council members grow uneasy. They had assumed both the devil and hero were dead, but now their credibility is at risk. If the public learns that Priest Alba has betrayed them, their reputation will be ruined." The girl then asks, "So what should we do? Should we eliminate hero Emilia and her companions?" Alciel and Mao return home, where Lucifer immediately complains about being hungry. Mao tosses him a snack along with a burger, but Lucifer looks at it in disgust, upset that they went out to eat while giving him a cheap meal. Annoyed, Alciel reminds him that they've already given him a computer and internet connection and now food. What more could he possibly want? He even threatens to throw Lucifer out if he keeps complaining. Mao then asks if Lucifer actually knows how to use a computer or if he's just wasting time. Smirking, Lucifer confidently replies that he does and even offers to show them how well he can play GTA 5. Meanwhile, Emilia is at her job in a call center. As her shift is about to end, she receives a call. Answering professionally, she says, "My name is Emmy. Thank you for calling the call center. How can I help you?" Mao excitedly exclaims, "Hey, it worked. You're amazing. Hey, Emmy, are you listening to us? Annoyed, Emilia responds, what do you want? Why are you wasting my time? Mao explains Lucifer said he needed a laptop for hacking, so I got him one. And guess what? His trick is actually working. Hearing this, Emilia is shocked. Don't tell me Lucifer is living with you. But before she can say anything more, Mao abruptly cuts the call. In the next scene, Mao and Chiho are working at their restaurant. Chiho smiles and says, you're really cool. Within a year, you've already gotten a promotion. Mao shrugs and replies, you think so? But I'm only working in this position because the boss isn't here today. Chiho laughs, it doesn't matter. In reality, you're ruling over humans. Just then, Emilia arrives and interrupts, absolutely not. I won't never let that happen. And by the way, I need to talk to you about something. Mao sighs, can't you see I'm at work? Emilia says, oh, and what were you doing when I was working? Meanwhile, Lucifer is sitting with his laptop, looking frustrated. What's the use of a laptop if I can't play online games? Did they give me a stolen one? As he continues browsing, his eyes suddenly land on a website, and a mischievous smile appears on his face. Back at the restaurant, Emilia asks Mao, why did you keep Lucifer with you? Mao explains that Lucifer also has nothing, and they are trying to find a way to regain their power with his help. Until he gets his power back, he cannot return. Emilia smirks and says that she has enough power to go back, to which Mao casually tells her to leave if she wants and stop bothering him. Emilia replies that as long as the Devil Gang is here, she is not going anywhere. Later, when Mao returns home, he is shocked to see Lucifer lying unconscious. Alciel warns him not to look at a certain photo, explaining that they ended up like this after seeing their landlady in a bikini. Ignoring that, Mao asks if they have found a way to restore their power. Lucifer, still recovering, mentions that there is an old, closed room in a school, and there might be a demon inside. The next day, Mao and Alciel reach the school, only to realize that Chiho also studies there. After tricking Chiho and using her help, Mao and Alciel sneak into the school late at night, searching for the mysterious room. As they wander through the halls, they receive a call from Lucifer, who guides them to the room and reveals that it has been opened once before. Suddenly, a strange noise echoes through the building, making them suspect the presence of a demon. However, instead of a demon, Emilia appears before them and demands to know what they are doing there so late. They quickly explain the situation, but before they can say much, they take off running. Emilia immediately gives chase, determined to catch them. After a while, she finally corners them and starts shouting at them in frustration. As they argue, they suddenly notice someone watching them from above. Ignoring it for now, they move toward the closed room. When they arrive, they see that the lock is already open. As Mao starts removing the wooden planks, he realizes there are no nails in them, meaning the door has been opened before. Stepping inside, they find the room filled with empty food and drink packets. Chiho looks around and comments that it doesn't seem like a demon is here. Just then, Mao's eyes fall on something under the table, a PSP. At that moment, he gets a call from Lucifer, who asks if they found anything on the floor, specifically a PSP. They realize that when Alba and Lucifer were in the area, they had been staying in that room and Lucifer had tricked them into getting his PSP back. Later, at home, Alciel scolds Lucifer, reminding him that he is only allowed to play games for 1 hour a day. Lucifer, desperate, begs him to return his PSP. Meanwhile, Mao arrives home and notices a girl standing outside their house. He assumes she is there to rent a room. As she begins to walk down the stairs, her foot slips and she falls directly onto Mao. Hearing the noise, Alciel rushes outside and asks if everything is okay. Mao reassures Alciel that everything is fine. The next morning, the same girl who had fallen on him the night before visits him. She is dressed in old traditional clothes and speaks politely. She tells Mao that she recently moved into the neighborhood and has only been living there for a few days. As a gesture of goodwill, she brings him a pack of noodles as a gift. Meanwhile, at Emilia's house, she receives a package and calls Emeralda to find out what it is. Emeralda explains that she has sent celestial force energy in the form of a drink. She warns Emilia that drinking it twice will enhance her celestial force, but consuming it more than twice could cause serious problems. The next day, Emilia stands outside Mao's house and is shocked to see a girl standing beside Lucifer, teaching him how to dry clothes. Curious about the girl's identity, Emilia wonders if she might be a demon. To find out, she decides to keep an eye on them. Inside the house, Suzuno is teaching Lucifer various chores, while Alciel appears to be sick. Suddenly, Suzuno senses something unusual and moves to open the door. Emilia, realizing she might be caught, tries to hide but loses her footing and falls down the stairs. Just as she is about to hit the ground, Mao rushes forward and catches her. Later, Emilia enters Mao's house where Suzuno introduces herself. Soon after, Mao and Emilia start arguing again. Watching them, Suzuno curiously asks Emilia if she is Mao's girlfriend. Shocked, Emilia responds, "What? His girlfriend? No way." Suzuno, however, insists that the way they fight makes them seem like a couple. Lucifer chimes in, joking that they always argue like lovebirds. Emilia, trying to shift the conversation, asks Suzuno if she has feelings for Mao. Outside, Emilia warns Suzuno that Mao is not an ordinary guy and that staying with him will bring suffering. Emilia starts to suspect that Suzuno might be an assassin from Isla, but she also thinks that if that were the case, she would have already completed her mission. Meanwhile, Suzuno remains calm and says, "It's fine. I will handle him. I may look delicate, but I am very strong." Hearing this, Emilia decides to play along and hands Suzuno her phone number, pretending to support her in wooing Mao. Later, Emilia receives a call from Emeralda, who informs her that the missionary division of the church is investigating Alba's disappearance. She warns Emilia that they might also be after her, so she needs to stay alert. Meanwhile, at work, Chiho asks Mao about his lunch, and he casually mentions that it was prepared by his new neighbor, a girl who recently moved in. Hearing this, Chiho becomes furious and says, "You took lunch from another girl right in front of me?" Mao, unaware of her frustration, opens his lunchbox to reveal a variety of delicious dishes. Chiho is initially stunned by the quality of the food, but when Mao opens the bottom compartment, revealing a heart-shaped cake, she completely loses her temper and starts screaming loudly. On the other side, Emilia is shopping in a supermarket when, suddenly, someone attacks her. However, the attacker collides with the clean glass door, falling to the ground. Taking advantage of the situation, Emilia quickly draws her holy sword and attacks. The attacker, undeterred, retaliates with magic, and the two engage in an intense battle. During the fight, Emilia realizes that her celestial force is weakening due to the opponent's magic. Just as the attacker is about to defeat her, the shop owner unexpectedly intervenes by throwing some fruit at him, causing him to flee. The shopkeeper, still shaken, turns to Emilia and says, "Ma'am, you have to wait here until the police arrive." Emilia sits in the waiting room when she suddenly receives a call from Chiho. Chiho, sounding upset, tells her, "Someone has made a lunch box for Mao, and it's a girl." The next day, they meet outside Mao's house. Chiho, suspicious, insists that while the food may be delicious, the girl could have poisoned it. Emilia sighs and tells her, "Making up such stories won't help. If you really care, you need to tell Mao how you feel." Determined, Chiho rings the doorbell, and Suzuno opens the door. The moment Chiho sees the girl inside Mao's house, she gets nervous. However, as they start talking, the tension slowly fades. Before long, Chiho and Suzuno even start cooking together, forming an unexpected bond despite the earlier jealousy. Lucifer steps out and, looking at the food, says, "Is the food ready? I'm starving." However, everyone ignores him as they begin eating their meal. Suzuno, noticing the situation, mentions that she needs a job to pay her rent. Mao, trying to be helpful, suggests, "Why don't you join us at McDonald's? Our workload has increased and we need more employees. Chiho works there too, so she'll help you settle in." Lucifer, observing the exchange, mutters to himself, "What kind of idiot is Mao? Doesn't he understand how these two girls feel? If they both work at the same place, there's definitely going to be some conflict." The conversation continues. Later, Mao and Chiho walking to her house when he asks, "Chiho, don't you have a problem with us?" Chiho responds, "No, Emilia told me everything about you and I know what you've done in the past. But even knowing all that, I still feel good being with you. I fell in love with you even before I knew everything, and no matter what you think of me, my feelings for you won't change." Just then, Suzuno interrupts and says, "It seems everyone likes you." Chiho, startled, turns to her and asks, "Since when were you there?" Suzuno replies, "Before you were expressing your love." Chiho, now flustered, panics and quickly flees with Mao's bicycle. Later, Suzuno and Emilia are standing at the station. Suzuno asks, "Is a train going to arrive soon so we can head to the location to buy clothes?" Emilia replies, "Yes, but don't tell me you've never seen a train before." Suzuno responds, "No, I haven't." Emilia, surprised, asks, "How did you get here then?" Suzuno answers, "From the gate." Emilia is totally stunned and immediately asks, "Are you from Isla?" Suzuno confirms, "Yes, I am from Isla. Didn't you know?" Both of them are shocked by this revelation. Emilia asks, "You didn't even tell me?" Suzuno replies, "You asked me if I was after Satan." Emilia and Suzuno clear up their confusion. Emilia asks who Suzuno is and why she's here. Suzuno introduces herself as Christina Bell, an investigator and head of the directorial council. She reveals that she was ordered by Alba to stay with Satan and gather information about Emilia. Suzuno wants Emilia's help to defeat Satan and return to Ent Isla. Emilia refuses, stating she is destined to defeat Satan herself and warns Suzuno not to interfere. Meanwhile, at Mao's restaurant, his boss stands beside him and the SFC is crowded with customers. Mao's boss tells him to use any method necessary to bring down SFC, wanting to see its downfall. Later, Mao and Chiho are at the counter when a blue-haired man approaches them and hands Mao a card. This man turns out to be the owner of SFC. In the restroom, Chiho urges Mao to defeat the SFC owner by any means. Mao reassures her, saying he's already sent a spy, Alciel, there. Meanwhile, after finishing their work at the call center, Emilia and her friend leave. Susan, waiting outside, asks Emilia to take her to the place where Mao works. Emilia doesn't respond, but her friend takes Susan there instead.